I'm just amazed.
You don't have a lot of moss down in Tucson?
No, I can't wait to get out there.
Well, Marcus and Jim showed up in the dark and the rain last night, and I don't think we filmed very much of that at all. There was a little bit going on. Jim's lucky enough to come up this year, and we're going to take him out and let him enjoy hydration, a little bit of hydration, something he's not used to, hunting in the rain in southeast Alaska.
Long time coming.
Long time coming. We've been talking about this for years and years and years.
I'll probably gain 10 pounds just through hydration through my skin. Go back. I've been a little dehydrated.
And we want to build on the whole concept of the video that we did called Reindeer, talking about habitat and Sitka Blacktail the deer, but through his eyes and the mule deer working group and stuff.
They're amazing animals.
So we're getting where I'm excited about having these conversations out there in the woods and seeing where we can take that. If you haven't gone and looked at reindeer, you should go and look it up on the YouTube channel. I think it's also on Amazon. This is our little camp. This is our little cabin at the end of the woods. Karen and I live here in southeast Alaska, and we built this about 10 years ago. And
it's going to have to do for camp.
Bo, I want you to know that we have a jacuzzi upstairs. So when you come in cold and wet at the end of the day, you can go up and take a jacuzzi if you want to. You got to upgrade your camps.
He's not packing one of those in Alabama, is he?
He's got to get a bigger llama. So we're going to go out today and take a little bit of a look at a habitat. We are experiencing what they call a hydrologic river. Tonight we are going to have sustained winds of 40 to 50 knots with gusts over 60. It's a high probability that we're going to have landslides on the island, and the power is going to be out tonight.
So we got Jim and Jim. So how am I going to ask questions of, hey Jim, what do you think about...
So Jim, you'll just get it like twins. You'll get it in unison like twins.
Yeah, well, we're going to practice on answering together. Well, you have Jim the handsome and Jim Heffelfinger.
You have the handsome one, and then you have... Yep.
If you see a deer, though, since both of us are hunting, all you got to go is Jim. Yeah, you're going to get some kind of a proper response.
Yeah, actually, I was with Randy on the 2 javelina that he's harvested so far. And so we've hunted together in the desert, and we've been on podcasts. I've been on probably 4 or 5 podcasts, and we've been talking to Jim for more than a dozen years, and we'd see each other at meetings, and I'd look at his pictures, and he would tell me these fantastic stories, and I just had always dreamed it was a bucket list item for me to get up here and hunt these really cool little types of mule deer up here. And it's really exciting for someone who mostly hunts desert mule deer on the southern end of their range to now come to the northwestern end of their range, completely opposite end of the spectrum is in terms of water, opposite end of the spectrum and really in terms of phenology or physical characteristics of mule deer. You have these big light colored desert mule deer, and then you have these little small dark little forest mule deer, black-tailed deer. It's really exciting for me to see that breadth of difference in one species.
And we're just going into here onto the chasing phase, which is really interesting. Is the rut has been in full swing in Ketchikan, Wrangell, Petersburg, and in the northern latitude, and we are about 2 weeks behind. So it was just like in the last 4 or 5 days, you started seeing rubs everywhere. We started getting bucks moving on trail cameras and stuff, and it's just starting to crank up. So we got a really good opportunity of calling in some does and calling in some bucks that are out cruising and bucks that are chasing does when they think they should be ready to breed, but they're not yet. So
you might have to hold me when I want to shoot a spike the first day. They don't.
No, Jim. No. Wait a minute. Can I hold his bullets?
Give me one.
No.
Give me one. Yeah.
So this rain is going to increase during the day. But the nice part about it is we're filling our water tanks. So we have no aquifers here. We have no pump. We capture our rainwater off of our gutters and goes into 2 5,000-gallon storage tanks, and that's our drinking water. And we filter it from there.
We would die of thirst in Tucson.
You would die of thirst in Tucson.
Like that.
How about we go to the woods?
Sounds good.
I'm up for that. I can go home. That made my trip.
I thought she might be out here. This is the time of day she shows up again.
God, that's amazing. Unbelievable. Yeah, I should hide the gun. They are so different from any other mule deer. Even the Colombian blacktail. Colombian blacktail just looks much more like a mule deer with some other coloration. These things got this short face, which gives it a triangular look, and short ears. And the metatarsal gland on the outside of the back leg, mule deer is about that long. Hers, all Sitka blacktails are just about that long. Whitetail are just not more than an inch. These real different characteristics.
What are we doing?
He's going to take the rifle out and smack one of those 184 to the target on the hill.
Missing something, right?
Thank you, Craig High School.
Yeah, they can make me one.
Well, the bench ain't going to move.
All right.
Dead center.
Yep, I can see my hit. Okay.
You hit, that was the same place you held before, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you hit it.
So when we crank it down to 60, that turret does the job, huh?
Yeah, I may have to push the deer away from the end of the gun so that you could.
You're gonna be pretty close to death.
Yeah.
On those rotten cedar stumps like that, the red spots, they'll dig a bed in that stuff, and they'll just be up there. They're in the wind. There's no bugs. They can see things really well.
Probably thermals coming up.
So if we can get one to stand, there's a possibility that she's being tended, or at least somebody's looking at her to see if she might be receptive to their love overtures. So we'll go down off this point right here. Just give it a little bit of a toot. It won't be very long.
See what happens.
Notice now we're getting over to this side of the island. The wind's picking up and the rain's picking up, so we'll move back inside the island a little bit. I think it's still going to be nasty, but
it's going to be worse out here.
it's true. True. If we don't challenge the cameraman, we're not doing our job.
Yeah, this is like one big tea bag. Just soaking my hands right. And that's what that is?
Yellow cedar. We have Sitka spruce and hemlock. Those are our main dominant tree types.
Okay, I saw the
And then if we
hemlock.
get into the muskegs, we also have mountain hemlock. I said these are several-year-old eye guard marks for a buck sit here and pulled up like that. So he was big enough that his rack was out here doing this, and these are where his eye guards were working on. There's a little bit more scarring on that tree right there, down low. So they cruise this. We might be able to find last year's road back here. A little bit of scarring in there. Maybe while there was on my back to that tree so I could kind of keep an eye on that back door and be back behind me.
A little young, wasn't he?
Huh?
A little young.
What?
That buck.
I didn't see it.
Serious?
But
You
he-
gotta tell me these things.
What's that?
Are you serious?
Oh, you didn't see it either?
No. You gotta tell me
Now
these
you're gonna
things.
think I'm making it up. He came in, he locked on me, and I saw some movement, so I clicked the safety off. So I was like finger out of the trigger guard already, and he stopped, and he had a branch in front of his neck and chest. I could see the antlers look kind of
He was like about that wide.
thin, yeah,
Yeah.
like this, and fairly thin. And then he just froze and stared at me, so I did not move a muscle. And then I started thinking, is this thing bigger than I really think it is, and I should be shooting right now?
It's so amazing how they're locked on us. Their hearing focused ability is far none. As I come out here and I blow this, it's like me throwing a pebble in that pond and the rings go out and you never know how it's going to come back.
Like a ripple on a slop tail.
That's right, like a ripple on a slop tail.
A little more poetic,
Low bush cranberries. Oh, wow. Just like this, they taste just like that. Another one.
It's tart like.
Low bush cranberry?
Just like your domestic cranberries, this is what they domesticated.
Yeah. It's like wild strawberries or whatever. They're real tart like a cranberry. Man, it tastes like a cranberry.
Here,
Imagine
Marcus.
that.
So there's a lot of people come out. There's bogs that they get a little bit bigger and they're thicker. And we'll come out and it takes a long time to get enough for Thanksgiving dinner.
Yeah, but that would be really good on a glaze on a roast or something.
Isn't that cool?
That's pretty awesome. Thought she was gonna let me pet her. Now you can just imagine the buck coming out from behind. I thought that was the perfect setup. I'm leaning here. And so change your frequency, call a little lighter, just try to hold her there to see if somebody's going to step out. You know, do that little power thing you do with your voice. Just, and then she wanted to circle her wind. Yeah. Yeah. Oh man, I was just
pretty doe. Oh my gosh,
she's right here, and I was just watching that back turn. Like someone's going to step out. That would have been perfect. Got concealment, conceal a little bit of my movement in front of me.
They're here. I mean, with the rubs we've seen coming in here, all these tracks on this trail right here we're sitting on.
And they're responding.
I guarantee you. So every time I blow this, I firmly believe that there are 3 or 4 deer to hear it. They may never respond, but they hear it. And I've gone day after day after day and never called anything in. And then you have great days. That's sweet.
It's just unbelievable for me to.
So this is the edge, you know, like all deer are animals of the edge, and so this is their foraging, feeding, and then what I think these little knobs and cedar thickets like this are their bedding areas and stuff like that. And so use the edge of these things,
Catch them
scent trail and does, you know. Yeah, we'll just slip on around a little bit more over this way. Well, that wasn't a bad little first jaunt. God, she was pretty when she stepped out there. That was cool.
Walked all the way across.
Now you see how I darted him.
Yeah.
So if we'd have kept going down that old road, we'd have come out right here, where that alder is. So the old road used to come back in right
used
there.
to be the highway.
Yep. This was a Williams and Sonoma roast recipe that we have slightly modified for venison. And I think my wife has nailed this thing. I mean, it's like over the top. Holy Jesus, good. She goes, are we going to do one of those roasts for those guys? I'm like, oh yeah.
That was
So this is 100 degrees, right? And we cook it to 130, 135 degrees internal temperature. And you have to be religious with the meat thermometer. And then when it comes out, it will rest for at least half an hour. And the reason why is it just relaxes. If you cut it right away after it comes out of the oven, it'll be tough, right? And so many people say, oh, I've never had venison because it's always so tough. But the trick is cook it to a specific internal temperature, whatever you like. I like to 130, 135, and then let it rest. Everything else is just flavoring. If you don't use it, man, that looks lovely.
Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. Sitka Blacktail gods. All right, educational moment. Taste that. And you tell me about sweet fat. Wildlife biologist guy. Wow. Not tallowy.
Not at all.
We have a good force.
With that little sweetness glaze on there and the fat.
That's it, we're done now.
Yeah, that's right. That was the experiment.